Hey there, I'm here to respond to Majority's table topics about silent protagonists. Asked our thoughts on silent protagonists, um, and I have a very, I don't know, I have a very mixed opinion on them, but I think overall I prefer protagonists that speak, and I want to talk about that. I have some examples here of games that can help me kind of explain this. So these aren't Naughty Dog games per se, but this is just the ones I grabbed off the shelf. Crash Bandicoot. I love Crash Bandicoot, some of my favorite platformers, but they've never really been able to do storytelling that great. Even I guess Twinsanity or even the new Crash 4 or the Crash games that tried its hardest with storytelling with the other characters. But you can't really depend on Crash to be a storytelling machine, because he just goes, he spins around and sometimes he makes a funny sound, but he's not really a character, you know what I mean? He's just kind of like the jumpy guy. He just jumps around, spins on things. I love Crash Bandicoot, don't get me wrong, but I think it hinders the storytelling, and I think that goes for a lot of games with silent protagonists. It also feels strange in games like Breath of the Wild, where and don't get me wrong here, I absolutely adore Breath of the Wild, but everybody talks but Link, and it's very strange. Now, let me show you an example of a franchise that escaped this. We recently did a map out on the first Jak game. Jak is silent in this game. Now, they actually got around it in this title by having a partner that talks. Daxter talks for you, basically, and it still kind of gives the more personality than usual, but Jak still isn't a character in this game. He's just kind of the jumpy guy, kind of like Crash Bandicoot was. They escaped that in the sequel, Jak 2. They made Jak talk. Daxter even makes fun of him. They made it work somehow, because in this game, it takes place years after the first game. Jak's older. He had been through a lot of shit, and he has terrible people skills. So Daxter always remarks about how he is sorry. He's new to this whole talking thing. He's bad at it. It's a funny. It's played up for laughs, but it was clever, because from this point on, I felt like I could attach myself to Jak even more, because I knew what kind of character he was. I knew what he was thinking. And that's basically how I feel. Characters like Link, I don't give a shit about, because it's literally just a mirror for me to project myself onto. They're not characters. They're just player icons in my eyes. And that's how I see a lot of silent protagonists. Again, not saying I don't like games with silent protagonists, but I'm saying if I had a choice, and I'm playing a game, especially something like Zelda that is more story driven, I prefer if I knew what the main character was thinking. I knew what was happening with that. And that's sort of my take on it. I prefer games where the protagonists speak. But I still enjoy Crash Bandicoot. I still enjoy Legend of Zelda. I still enjoy Mario. But that's just my take. And if you want to do a response to the table topics set by Majority, you feel free. I'll put the link to the table topics video in the description below. See you guys next month.